Hello, everyone. I am joined by my friend, Mr. Simon Nielsen. Simon, it's a pleasure to share kind of a booth with you. You know, we're standing, we're vibing right now, but you're somebody who has been on my radar for a long time. This is actually the first time we've met, but you and I came up in a very similar space. We came up competing on the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour, and you in particular, unlike myself, have been absolutely crushing things lately. So first of all, congratulations. Second of all, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, to both, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, a completely historic run. But in the midst of this historic run, there's something we want to talk about a lot more, and that's this growing, you can tell me if I'm wrong, addiction, obsession with Flesh and Blood? Like, are those fair words to use at this point? You have been at a lot of events recently.
I definitely think that obsession is a fair moniker to put on this. Yeah, I've been playing like Flesh and Blood since like May last year, and then I just rolled up to nationals with a Lexi list and won the Danish nationals. And since then I've just been going to like the I went to Worlds, then I won a Pro Quest for the PTLA here, and yeah, I'm just also with Lexi, of course.
Yep.
And so I'm just still just been really enjoying the game, especially enjoying figuring out the limited formats. Has been like super nice to me.
I love hearing that. Obviously, a lot of my work is centered around those limited formats. So, of course, we're here at Pro Tour LA playing the Heavy Hitters limited format. Just give me, your 1,000-foot view of that format. What do you think? You said you've been enjoying them. Is this an all-timer? I mean, you only have a couple to compare at this point, but for you, I'm assuming this rate's pretty highly.
I've actually tried like most of the draft formats.
Oh, great!
Yeah, because I've gone back as well.
Yep.
I think this like format is like definitely really nice. Like what I really like about this format is that the hybrid cards make it so that it's easier to stay open longer. Very similar to what we saw in Bright Lights, which is also another format I really like, but that one has like kind of requires like more of a deeper, you have to go pretty deep down the rabbit hole before that format gets good. This one is like good from the get-go and then also continues to be good, is my experience.
I love that you call that out. I mean, they are very different formats. One has what I consider a huge amount of depth, requires a huge amount of exploration, kind of before you get to that really juicy meat on the bone, whereas Heavy Hitters seems to have been a very successful format right out the gate. Love to hear that you're enjoying that, but another huge portion of the event this weekend, CC. And that's the one that kind of sparks my interest the most when it comes to you, because you're competing in 2 games at once right now. Yes. That's a huge level of commitment. So how about first we talk about that generally? Let's talk about competing in 2 games. Where are the stressors in that? Are you like just your calendar is completely full, you're all over the world every weekend? Does your brain have a hard time switching back and forth between the 2 modes?
Yeah, so basically the way my calendar has looked this year was like I went to the Calling Liverpool, and then 2 weeks later is the Magic Pro Tour, and so I kind of had to like space up my testing. Like the latest Magic set came out like a week before Liverpool, so I had to stop I had to like only had 1 week of like playtesting limited, and I had to like stop myself because I needed to focus on Magic. And then I played the Pro Tour in Chicago, and then a month later we're here in LA, and then in a month I'm going to Seattle for a Magic Pro Tour, and then I'm probably gonna do the like Calling Warsaw like soon after that, the week after that.
Incredible.
So yeah, that's kind of like how it's been going. We even have like Pro Tour Amsterdam in 2 games this summer.
Yeah, maybe you're there twice.
Probably, and then like Nationals is the week before the Magic Pro Tour. So I mean, I'm not even sure if I can go to Nationals because right now I'm involved in like one of the best teams in Magic the Gathering, and I need and there's actually like there's some responsibility I have, like just not only because of myself but also to my teammates. I mean, I play Magic professionally right now. That is my source of income. So it's like been pretty interesting how I can like weave in the Flesh and Blood tournaments, which is more like my hobby actually. Like, so I have one game that's my job and one is my hobby.
That's so cool to hear, and I guess that comes with different levels of relationships and maybe different levels of enjoyment. Has it been good to just have a game that you can kind of appreciate for what it is? And I mean, I guess maybe more pointed than that, which one do you want to play right now? If you have one that's your job and one that's your hobby, it kind of sounds to me like maybe Bryan, one is what you want to be doing.
This game, I can go to armories.
Yeah, it's pretty
special.
Obviously,
I can also go to like a Magic's equivalent of that, but it's like I always feel like relatively misplaced. Like for the local tournaments where like I'm qualified for everything, so I'm not really competing for anything. It like has felt odd playing those tournaments.
Yeah.
But here in Flesh and Blood, I can just roll up to the Road to Nationals and like this Pro Quest, and I'm like still like competing for something, and it feels like I belong there. And the community has just been like great. The Danish Copenhagen community. Shout out to you guys. Like absolutely love hang out with you every Wednesday. And so for me like that, there's like that piece of joy, and also like it just never is going to feel like work. At times Magic will feel like work because I have to do it. Of course I also love doing that, but it's been really nice to be able to engage with card games the way I used to when I started.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to hear. I mean, that's a lot of the intentionality of Flesh and Blood, is kind of getting back to that moment where we had this incredible joy, this incredible passion, just the spark of discovery that came with every match you sat down to play. And it's something that definitely drew me into this space very, very quickly. How about we rewind a little bit?
Yeah.
Where'd you first find Flesh and Blood? Like, how did it get on your radar? How did you attend your first tournament? Was it a friend? I find for so many people it's a friend that introduces you to the game.
Yes. So my very good friend Julian Ferry, who is right now, also one of the top competing players in Flesh and Blood. Him and I used to like go to Magic Grand Prix together for a while. Like he's one of my very best friends, and he was like made the switch to Flesh and Blood. I was like, please, Simon, you gotta try this. And so, I let him like teach me the game, and then I just my local game store was running a sealed league over a few weeks, and that was like, oh, I guess I can just turn up to this. I don't need to own any cards, but I can but do this for a few weeks and then I can learn as I go. And that was like kind of the start to trying Flesh and Blood, and that was like in May last year. So
yep, and then it just spiraled from there. And I know that feeling very, very well, where all of a sudden it just becomes a huge obsession in your life.
Yeah, because like then I realized that there was going to be a nationals in August, which is like first of all, it was very well timed in terms of like no Magic tournaments, so I had like the entire August to prepare for that, and there was something that I could like work towards, right? There would be something challenging, and my goal was just to be okay. I'm just gonna try and like do my best to try and 3-0 the draft portion, and then I'll like rock up with a deck and like see how well I can do in constructed. And that was like kind of the plan. So I spent a lot of time on Monarch draft, and I also love that format.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I think Flesh and Blood draft is just really good. Like it's very good to explore, because it's like there's fewer components. Like it's not, there's like not a bunch of like different mechanics that are interacting. And it's like, so it's easier to like kind of get a grasp on what's like actually working. You can just try and optimize that, but it's still very deep because a lot of the games go to second cycle. So you have to like factor that in always. And the drafts are also like you have to decide on your hero like fairly quickly, but not necessarily. So there's like strategies to like see how far you can actually take it to like find that right spot in your pod. And just like learning that it's just been like really fun.
I love that you mentioned the depth, because one thing that has been a very common experience when I speak to former or present Magic players about playing Flesh and Blood is that there seems to be this moment where there's almost a dawning of understanding, where all of a sudden all the value propositions and the depth of the game reveals itself to you. Do you remember that kind of like aha moment for you? Can you pinpoint where it happened, or did it not come that way for you and it was just something that you kind of explored over time?
That is interesting. No, I think it was like more of a gradual understanding. I think part of it was in the finals of my nationals. I was playing against Sebastian Gondale, who's like the best Danish Flesh and Blood player. And he was playing Fatigue Bravo against my Lexi deck. It was the first time I played like against any Fatigue deck ever.
Yeah.
And so I had to, on the fly, realize that I can't do my normal game plan. He's gonna fatigue me. So I have to like figure out how to like do something else. And I ended up setting up a like double 3 of a kind pass turn where I had 7 cards in hand, and then I killed him.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, that's an awesome realization to have on the fly.
Exactly.
That's a really high level play.
Yeah, so that was like really cool. Then I realized, wait, okay, you can actually just like set this up like as your plan from the get-go. So like try and do that with your bitch stack. And so like having like knowledge like that these things can happen like was really exciting. And I'm actually right now I'm of the opinion that there likely are no great Flesh and Blood players. I don't think we've seen it yet.
Interesting.
I think the rabbit hole
that's kind of throwing down the
really deep
right
now.
No,
because I think there is a level where both players are aware of acutely aware of each other's space stack, and you're playing like 2 battles at the same time. I think that is the like in 5 years, the top of Flesh and Blood is going to be that. Well, I don't think anyone is there yet. I think some people are really close.
I love that that's what you want to talk about, because it brings me very well to my next question. Like, what is the future of Simon Nielsen's involvement in Flesh and Blood? Do you want to be that great Flesh and Blood player? Do you see yourself, putting your name up there with the Michael Hamiltons, with the Pablo Pintores? Do you want to find yourself in that conversation as well?
I think it definitely would be really cool if I could also top 8 a Pro Tour in this game. So of course my natural competitive drive is going to like propel me forward to that. I mean, I've been learning like how to pitch deck. I'm still like not great at it, but I'm starting to like learn remembering like these, because I'm for Magic I'm used to being able to take notes if I need to, right? So it's like a very, very different skill set. But it's been fun trying to develop, and I'm definitely down to see like how far you can actually take it. Like if you have an organized team in this game as well, like what will happen. So that's definitely something interesting to me.
I think it's a great question. I think it's a great observation. I've enjoyed watching your appearance here on the Flesh and Blood scene. I remember just being in the office, and we watch results that come in very carefully, especially in these national season, road to national season. Like all of them are very, very important to us. And I remember seeing your name on the winners list, and I'm like, that's pretty noteworthy. And you've since become a fixture from that point. It's been great to have you here. Great to see you participate. Tell us, as one final takeaway, you've got CC rounds to play. What is your hero? Why is that your hero? And give us a prediction for your finish in this event. Where are you seeing yourself when the chips fall? Are you going to be among those top competitors?
I am playing KO. I think our list is really good. I've been working with the team to get a fairly streamlined KO list. The reason I picked the hero is that about 2 weeks ago I played my first games of CC this year. Because that's one of the issues with having 2 games at the same time. Of course. I just came off the Magic Pro Tour and I had to
precious.
So I decided that my best EV play was just to pick a hero, and that's what I'm gonna play. And since I would have very little info going into that, usually the safest pick is to pick the most popular hero, and I have teammates working on the deck, so that's why I'm playing it. And I think after I played the Battle Hardening Kiel last weekend, and I feel that was really good training for this event.
Yeah, so fine finish there, top 4 finish there as well.
Yeah, at least in the PTI. Yes, so that's, and also I'm just looking forward to rolling some scab skins. I'm definitely someone
living that brute life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who really likes to lean into variants. Also with my Magic deck selection, I don't care if I lose a round to whatever, you can just win the next round. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm all about trying to optimize my percentages, regardless of what the cost may be.
I feel like that is going to serve you extremely well in Flesh and Blood. I think you're right. There's a lot of room for growth in this game, and I think you have all the potential in the world to deliver that growth. I've enjoyed watching you play. I will continue to enjoy watching you play. Simon Nielsen, thank you for your time.
Thank you.